Can I have roll call?
Counselor Lehman.
Here.
Counselor Marcus.
Here.
Counselor Larson.
Here.
Counselor Kuechly. Mayor Swanson.
Here. Report from department heads, Public Works, Fire and Ambulance, Engineering, Attorney.
Mayor Swanson,
Yes.
John Jamick is going to be here any minute. He's just running late.
We'll add him in when he
Okay.
gets here. Mike, do you have anything for us tonight?
Only it's on the agenda, Mayor.
All right. Long Range Planning and Zoning.
We had a meeting last week, I think, and we had granted a variance for Amy and Mike Fosso because they're adding a deck on, and it's gonna be a 10 by 39 deck. And part of it's just gonna come into the city's right away.
It's 15 feet from the sidewalk, so it's still.
Yeah. And then we'll have a special meeting on August 8th at 4 o'clock at City Hall on ordinance, city ordinances.
August 8th? At 6 p.m. again?
4.
Oh, 4 p.m. Okay. Recreation Board,
That, we had a meeting last week too on the beach blast and a couple other things we're having. City Parade, August 19th. And then one of the people on the board was wanting to have some kids races on 7/31, I don't know what day that is,
It's a Monday.
at 6 p.m. at the park. And then we're also gonna have music in the park by Jesse Munter on Monday, I don't know what it is.
August 30th.
Huh?
August 30th.
August 30th. So that's a couple of things at the Park and Rec, sir.
right. Jen Dirks had called. I think she called most of us to talk
Yeah.
about her position. Now, as a supervisor, we've always had our supervisors do the scheduling out at the beach. That's why they get paid $1 an hour more to supervise and
Yeah.
oversee.
We're gonna have a meeting next week and stuff, so hopefully take care of some issues. So,
And we still have an opening on that board, so if there's anyone who's interested,
right.
be sure and let me know. It sounded like on Facebook you guys were hearing of some possibilities. You or Josh said that there was some interest.
Josh said that because of something that blew up, and that's the thing, everybody says they'll help, but they don't show up.
Well, volunteers aren't that easy to find.
So,
They're great when you can get them. Yeah, yeah. Volunteers are gold. A couple of things I wanted to mention to you to take back to the rec, if you would. Last year, we had talked about putting a bench over in the park by the play area. A couple of the mothers had requested that maybe there be a bench, you know, the permanent kind that you put in the ground, that could stay right over there so they could sit while their little ones are playing on the playground area. I've seen that a couple of times over there, and different mothers have talked to me about that. And then we did take the sign down over there, the Burton Park sign last year, because it was in terrible shape. But the posts are still there, so that might be something the rec board wants to look at doing, is a new sign for Burton Park.
yeah, we should do that.
I think the city garage has 1 or 2 of those benches still sitting in the garage down there.
Are they metal or are they wood?
Well, they're metal rubber coated.
Oh, okay, that'd be perfect.
It's the type you're looking for.
Yeah.
That way, I think we put a couple up at the beach.
That'd be nice if they were, you know, maybe on the north and south, so that
Yeah, I
either
know
way
what
they're not
you're talking about,
in, sun's not in your eyes while you're watching your kids over there, but
Yeah.
that would be a nice addition over by the play area.
I think we still have them.
Could check into that. John, we passed up engineering, but now that you're here, if you want to talk to us, looks like a project got completed today.
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah, it drives
Looks
nice
really
too.
good.
I had to drive over it a couple of times to
Yeah.
see, but it's nice and smooth.
Big thumbs up.
Yeah, I got a call about 5:30 last night and said they were gonna come to the Buhl, weather permitting, so I didn't, get a chance to talk to the clerk's office or whatever, but I think it all went pretty good,
Yeah.
It's the way that the schedule goes sometimes. They get shut, can't pay somewhere else, but they did get it done. There's probably about 4 or 5 other miscellaneous things on the punch list, but, you know, for the most part, it was, you know, I got it down today, so,
Great, really good. Good to see that done,
yeah.
yeah.
So this is on Whiteside?
Yeah.
Addition,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
They put that second coat on. Looks
Yeah.
I
great.
think the city crew and the snowplow was like, what was it?
Yeah.
I got a question for you, John, about maybe two, about that driveway on the fence. Are we doing anything with that?
well, I don't know if we were gonna talk about the trailer court water line project, because when we bid that project, we included that work in that project. That was something the city didn't award back in May, because we were possibly looking for some other funding, and I think Jim just recently got the CDBG grant agreement finally from the county, so I don't know if we were gonna talk about that at all tonight, awarding that project.
there's nothing on the agenda about it, but,
I think I just brought up is we should just probably look at the water in that alley and not do the sewer and the other project. See if we can come up with the money to do that part of it. Narrow that down on, I forget what Joey bid on it, but,
Yeah, I mean, Grant Street?
no,
No, the trailer court for sure.
yeah.
When you said the other water line, did you mean Grant?
Well, I
Street?
said
Oh,
we wouldn't do that. Right now, we don't have the money to do it.
well,
So we'd look at just doing the new water line to the trailer park.
I think I'd wanna hear what you think about it too, John. What do you see as the project we should do?
well, you know, the water line up by the trailer court was $147,450, and the city received
$70,000.
$70,000 CDBG fund grant for that portion. Now, if we wanted to downsize it a little bit and not do the sewer, but
Because I think the sewer was about 50 grand of that.
You had said, and you said that it wouldn't be that big of an issue to come back to it later if
yeah,
funding was there.
we certainly can, you know, take that portion out.
And then it would bring the project cost down to about 100,000 or,
Yeah, the
90.
sewer portion, I wrote this down
I
somewhere.
thought it was like 42,000 we said or
Was it,
something.
that's
Yeah,
correct, that sounds all right, so. Yeah, the sewer with the manholes is about 28. I don't know how many manholes did we have? Yeah, about that. So it'd be closer to maybe 105,000.
okay. So the city would come in up with
But that
about
would
35.
include doing the alley, or the driveway on France Street too. So we just take the sewer out of the trailer court water line project.
You're just gonna put a regular storm sewer gutter there to raise it up like 3 or 4 inches to give them a little better slope?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, we have a problem, we have to look and see where we can come up with $35,000 to
Exactly.
do that soon.
What we got?
Huh?
We can, oh, that CBG money is good for 2 years, ain't it? Or something?
I thought it was till October of next year.
yeah, it is. John, did we didn't hear anything about IRRB yet?
No.
I
Nothing yet.
haven't heard.
That's kind of, I think, what we've been holding off on, just trying to see if we were gonna get a little additional help. I mean, we'd like to do the project as,
And I did talk to Joe Sopp today, you know, I told him, they, you know, talk about it a little bit at the meeting. You know, he finished a project over by Chisholm and now he's going to Evla, so he won't even be ready till middle, towards the end of August to start the work anyway. So if we wanna look at some of the numbers and maybe talk about it and bring it back at your first council meeting in August.
Can you come to that first meeting in
Yeah,
August,
we can
John?
break out the sewer.
That would be
and
good.
kinda,
Yeah.
you know, we don't have,
And we
yeah,
can get some numbers from City Hall and see where we're at and
Yeah.
what's feasible.
and because the bid was, you know, we took bids on May 16th, and typically the bids are good for 60 days, which
We're past.
probably, you know, and we can, maybe the city should pass a motion, you know, requesting a 30-day time extension with Joel and Sop to award the bid, you know, just so, we're, you know, because right now we are past the
Right.
60 days.
And they did call and say something about the materials, or didn't they say something?
The pipe costs were going up.
So,
So they may or may not change their bid price before this. Should we go ahead and make that motion just in case we can hold them to, if they're willing to go along with it, at least we'd have the extension. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea. And then if they say they have to change it, we can do that. But at least we'd be set with the bid that we've already,
Yeah, we're gonna have to go through the process.
we won't have to go through the whole thing again if we make a motion to extend 30 days. Do I have that motion?
I'm gonna make that motion to extend the bid contract with Buhl and Saw.
Support.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Is that it?
That's all.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, John.
All right, Beta, oh, library
nothing to
board,
report,
we will
yeah.
meet on Thursday. And Beta meets at the end of the month. Utility commission.
Yeah, we trying to figure what they even talked about.
Great. And I think you gave the report at the last one. We'll have a meeting on the 31st of July at 10:30 a.m.
Yeah, actually, we didn't even have a,
Yeah.
Sheriff's report.
There's nothing to report from them.
Okay, I've seen them around town a little more, that's good to see. Clerk's report.
So John said we got the CDBG contract, so we have our $70,000. The food shelf was here today from 11 to 1. The next dates are August 22nd and September 19th. We have a special council meeting that was called for July 27th at 6 p.m. And then as Stuart was saying, Parks and Rec has planned a parade on August 19th at 11 a.m. And if you're interested in being in the parade or volunteering, sign up at City Hall. We have quite a few entries so far. Afterwards, there's going to be ice cream and games in the park. And then we're doing Beach Blast right after that. So Beach Blast will happen at about 2:30 or so. We have Jimmy Porter is going to be afloat in the parade doing singing, and then he's volunteered to come up, donate time at the park singing. Also on August 30th, we have music in the park with Jesse Munter, and I got word today that there's other people volunteering to come and do music in the park on other days as well.
I think it'll be under the pavilion one.
Yeah,
But anybody who wants to do that should come up to City Hall and sign up so that we don't have a conflict of too many people showing
the-
up to play at the park.
oh, no, so so Jesse will be on August 30th, and then if we can, if the weather permits, doing one in September. Jesse White has volunteered to donate some time, so I think we'll do a different person for every
Right,
time we plan
right.
one.
Okay.
But if anyone who wants to be in the parade, call City Hall. And that's all I have.
Council additions to the agenda? If there's any. Citizens forum? Consent agenda? Regular council meeting minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the regular city council meeting in July 5th.
I'll support it.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Payroll? Claims?
I'll make a motion to pay the claims of a total AP of $103,118.
I'll support that.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. All right, the first item on our agenda is Cornerstone Expansion Project. We have Deb Doty with us tonight. Hi, Deb.
Hi. We're still working on it.
Yes.
We're getting closer and closer. As many, I assume that Jennifer shared with you that we did, Mary Frances Scala did, Freiberger Law Firm did put a bid ad out, or a public hearing ad out for a public hearing for the use of the tax exempt funding. The same funding, would be just an extension of the funding that we got 3 years ago to use the city's tax exempt status on the new dollars that would be going into the nursing home, the 1.7.
And that'll be on August 1st, that public
That would be
hearing.
on August 1st. My only purpose tonight is just if you have any questions, obviously I'll be out here on the 1st. Our bids are good up there until the 6th of August. So we, our hope is to get everything finalized and potentially break ground by the middle of August, if the city passes a resolution to allow our use of you as a conduit for that tax exempt financing status.
Mike, have you had a chance to look over?
Well, I'm familiar with this, and usually they use the city as a conduit, and then there's no liability that falls upon the city for any obligation with regards to the money.
Yeah, because it states the individuals, but it doesn't say the city of Buhl.
Right. You're just a financial conduit to allow to get that. So I don't see any problem with it.
All right, thank you.
Do you have any questions or anything you want me to bring back on the 1st? I'm not sure if there'll be a financial person. I think Mick Scarich was here last time. They talked about the project overall, our refinancing. It's the exact same thing, but we're just doing an addendum to our current mortgage, so it's not even a new financing
So what is the
project.
additional dollars for, Deb?
It's for a 10-bed expansion. We had talked about that.
The additional monies that you're looking at here, that you said it's gonna go over by a couple. You said that you're looking to add dollars to it.
To our mortgage, the 1.7 will just be added to our current mortgage versus
Okay.
going out and getting separate financing. So everything will stay right in line with the other note and the tax exempt status, the same length of payment, that type of thing, as our 3-year note. Our note we did 3 years ago.
Sure.
So it's just basically an addendum to that. But we need the city's approval
Yes.
and blessing to use you as a conduit.
I think we're happy to have you here in town. You've been a good partner to the city through the years. And we hear nothing but good things about what goes on inside the facility from the people in town who've used it. I've heard really good things about your staff and
Well, thank you. I will relay that message. This will be nice. This will be kind of a nice bridge between Northland Village and the nursing home. There is still a gap there. So if they can't be in Northland Village or a facility of that level of care, of course, then the only place to go is the nursing home right now. This will give the people an opportunity to still stay somewhat independent and not have to be in the nursing home, which hopefully it'll fill a nice niche for people.
yeah. Yep. You made that clear at the last meeting that it's not actually gonna be a competition with Northland Village because you're offering a higher skilled care than what they can provide at this time, so.
Yes, we would have 24-hour skilled nursing, obviously, because it's going to be attached to the nursing home. So it makes it so much easier
Right.
for us to provide that versus a freestanding assisted living because you already have that skilled staff there 24 hours a day.
So basically, the other council I mean, and you had an agreement to make payments in lieu of taxes of $10,000. That's gone? Or is that part of this new?
That $10,000 payment, annual payment in lieu of taxes will commence in
218?
2018,
Okay.
and that will continue every single year. I don't know if I can't remember if there was a drop dead date on it. I would be past my tenure anyways. I don't think it was. I think it was, and then we had talked about reviewing that at some time in the future, and if the facility was in a position to pay more, that we would surely look at paying more in lieu of taxes, which is pretty common for facilities like ours that don't pay taxes to pay something in lieu of taxes.
I mean, is there can we get guarantees? I mean, we can't say, well, you didn't pay the taxes, we're gonna close the doors. I mean, right?
Well, there's be a violation of the agreement.
Right.
Yeah, well, what does that mean then?
Well,
Violation.
well, we sue them for the taxes and put a lien on their place or whatever, needs to be done. And we're just hoping that doesn't happen. And how long have you been here now, Deb?
13 years.
So hopefully going forward, and there's maybe more baby boomers getting older, so
Yeah.
they have to go somewhere.
We're lucky to have this facility in town, and you've been good partners to the city.
Okay, thank you. Do you have any questions or, okay?
I don't. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, we'll see you on the 1st.
Okay, good night. Beach attendant. We are losing one of our attendants at the end of July, and there's a recommendation, is this from the Recreation Board, this recommendation to hire Amelia Manor as a beach attendant?
Yes.
Okay. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we hire Amelia Manor for beach attendant
Contingent on.
upon of course, the successful drug screening.
I'll support that.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Have a salary survey that you asked for, John?
Yeah, I just wanted to look to see what comparable towns are, paying their people, because it's happened years, and every year it happens, is that the comparable worth will come in, and they'll do a study and tell us that our women aren't paid enough.
That has nothing to do with what other people are paying theirs. It has to do with women having equal salaries to what the
Yeah.
men are being paid, and that doesn't have anything to do with what other towns are paying their
Well, no,
staff.
but we're just looking at seeing what our neighborhood is paying.
So the council approved a contract with me, with the exception of the second year of the raise, which John said we would revisit, which is why he asked Diana to pull this. And the council talked about Diana getting a raise.
I'm really
Mine was
surprised
looking at all
at
our
the
people.
amount of the raise that was given. I mean, when we hired the clerk, we had set a wage of $21.63, and there was to be an increase after 6 months. How did it go from that to $2.37 in 6 months? I mean, none of our city employees have ever received a raise like that.
Well, when comparable worth comes out, because Trent gets $27.
Right? We've had women in that office
They have to be
before,
within 90% of that
right?
on a scale. What's 90%
Well-
of $27?
When comparable work comes around to do it,
Well, it's
they
every-
would tell us what it would
Yeah, I
have to
know.
be.
But why, and the last time we had it, we had to pay back pay. And we didn't have the money, we didn't budget for it, and I'm looking at saying, we should be budgeting for this in the office, so when that happens, and it's gonna happen, that there's money for that.
I was just kind of flabbergasted when I saw this because it wasn't what was agreed to at the hiring. And with the 200 that she gets every month from BETA, that's almost another $1 an hour there.
Well, that has nothing to do with
With her
the
wages,
wages.
it should and it could.
Well, you paid it to everybody else that was in that position. Mike got it, Cookie got it.
Oh, yeah, right, but we had an
Rod got it.
opportunity that the league even had suggested that we bring it back to City Hall and put it into wages rather than have BETA pay it out. It didn't make sense to them and it still doesn't to me.
Well, why would we?
They wouldn't have to lose it, but it would be part of their regular wages.
Well, BETA's like the library, they have their own budget.
Right.
Why would we
But
have
we're the
City Hall-
only BETA
Why would
that
they have-
pays their staff. Did you know that? Have you ever talked to the league about this?
Well, I don't know about that.
Economic Development Authorities? Yeah, well.
Well, it'd be hard.
Oh. Well, the people I've talked to have been pretty upset when they hear about the size of raises being given here, and I would think that, yeah, we'd have some city employees who might be a little upset to see that in a year they might get a 50-cent raise, but in 6 months, the clerk is getting $2.37 raise.
Well, it's in line with the other towns. That's why I asked to have this done.
And this is just such a moot point. I mean, what other towns want to do with their employees, I can tell you Marble has 800 people and they have a part-time clerk and a part-time treasurer. You know, every town is different with how they want to manage their money. But demographically, this is a low-income community. And paying 24 bucks an hour with full benefits after 6 months, I think is steep. I do.
Well, I disagree.
Ask around town.
If you want to keep people on the job, you have to pay them. I mean, the people that were here before got that money.
Well, they got what they got. They never got raises like this. We've never given out a raise like this, John.
Well, you just said, we hired her at $21 and some cents, and
Yeah.
after 6 months, she would get an increase. Well, you
Right.
didn't put that in writing. I mean, what was it? There was nothing. Was it 10 cents? Was it $2? So we came up with what we came up with.
Well, typically, it's been 50 cents or $1 that we increase salaries around here. It's been that through the years, and you know that.
Not for what we're talking about.
Well, so at the meeting we did the contract, we said that at this meeting, we're gonna set that second year so we can sign the agreement.
So everyone else gets 50 cents, and then we're gonna...
This was for
Yeah.
Diana for tonight too.
Well, Trent started at, I don't even know what it was, but it was probably $21 or $22, and so in 4 years, he gets $27. He went, when he came and walked in the door, he had this, when he went through his probation, then he got this much money. Why would it be any different with the office?
I'd have to look at those numbers.
And why I was looking at this is to compare all our employees. I mean, you got Public Works in Aurora, they got 24 bucks. You get the financial manager, he gets 24 bucks.
You know, we didn't budget for these kind of raises, for one thing,
That's what I'm
John.
talking about.
And we've got an empty school up the street. And you're talking about giving everybody more money, and it's not even that time of the
Well,
year.
you're talking about spending money on a disc golf that we don't even have.
We've got grant money for that.
Is it gonna go beyond that grant money?
No, it's
Okay, it
not.
better not, because I'm not gonna
It's
support
not.
it. Okay. Anyhow, I'm just looking, I don't know when comparable worth comes around, but it's gonna come around within probably, maybe this year, I don't know. And both of our women that worked in the office are gonna get bumped up. So I'm just saying we should be ready for that. Whether we spend it or not, put it in the budget, because it's gonna happen.
This amount that we're looking at for my part of it is for 2018. It's not for this year.
And they're gonna dictate to
We
us what
already
it's
got
gonna
this
be.
year's.
The council passed the contract with the
That's a
exception
shame.
of the second year.
That's a shame. I think that whole thing should have been thrown out. It's not fair to the other city employees, and it's a precedent I've never seen.
So you're saying
I
the
think
street
that,
guys should make more than our city administrator or clerk?
I think
That's
that
what you
we
said.
should have done more investigating and the whole
Well,
council should have been a part of it. All we expected you to do, John, was do the boilerplate
I didn't do
agreement with
anything.
her.
I proposed
And then all
something,
of
the
a
council
sudden,
passed it.
there's this huge increase
I
in
didn't-
salary.
The council appointed John to negotiate. The council's the one that approved the contract.
Yeah.
No.
So,
If
yeah,
I would've
I
been
mean,
here, I would've voted
basically,
against it. I
in their
think
job
it's wrong.
description, she's the boss of everybody, but she would actually made less money than anybody down at the city garage? That's how you
That's the way
came
it's
out?
been with Mike. That's the way it was with
Oh,
Mike.
that's, well, I'm not gonna start swearing at a council
Well,
meeting, but that's BS.
You know, we set the salary when we hire. That's what we did.
Well, nobody sets a salary. You set a salary before probation and you set a salary after probation. You didn't have it after, so we put a number in there.
I thought we had a number in there.
Well, there's not. So that's where we're at.
So we need a 2018 rate to complete that part of it.
Well, the other city employees will see a 50-cent increase. That's what's
I
in
don't
their
know.
This was
contract.
about Diana tonight too, actually.
Huh?
This, you guys had said at that meeting when we passed the contract that we would look at, Stuart wanted to look at Diana
Yeah.
for this meeting too.
This meeting,
Yeah, we said this second meeting in July was when we were gonna set mine, the 2018, and you would look at Diana's for 2018.
Well, what I'm proposing is, we have to start doing our budget in August, is to include that for January. I mean, it won't happen for like 4 months, we're talking about, not now, because we didn't budget for it.
We
But
didn't
I'm
budget
talking-
for what you just did here either. That wasn't budgeted for. And we got an empty building up the street.
We have money in the bank to cover that empty building.
Yeah, for a while.
Well, for 2 years. So what basically is, when we do the budget, I'm saying we should add some money into that clause because we're gonna get nailed. It's not, I think they deserve it, but the state is gonna say they're gonna get it. I've been here and done that. The librarian, she was making $14 an hour, but she came underneath the curve and she went up to $20 an hour. You know, this was probably 10, 15 years ago, but that's what happened.
We didn't have to do it with Diana when she took the position. We didn't have to do any huge raises with her. Well,
Well, there wasn't a comparable worse study done then. So anyhow, that's what I'm talking about is when we start doing our August budget, we should look at bumping the administration up a little bit just to cover. And I think she deserves a raise, but just my thought. That's why I had this study done and just to show you what other towns similar size pay their people.
all of our employees get raises after the first of the year, right? And that's something that we budget for every year.
So we need to.
Now, if we need to look at what Diana is getting to bring her up for comparable worth, then we need to get information from the state so we can see that we're in compliance.
Okay, I agree with that.
So this 2018 rate for my has to be set tonight. We agreed on that as part of the pass. We
Well, we-
passed the contract with that left out, and I want that signed.
that was,
Well,
That was
without
part of our
218.
agreement.
Yeah, we agreed with that without.
And the 218 was gonna be set tonight.
Well, no, we have to know some numbers before we can go beyond what you got already.
That's what Diana pulled this for.
Yeah, so we can budget, so when we budget, we'll have money there to give you what we're thinking you should get.
Then how do we sign that with that missing information?
Well, we approved your raise. January 1, we're gonna have to look at, I don't know what you wanted besides more money, you
I
did,
don't know
right?
what, no.
Yeah. So basically,
Didn't it say in here
we should do the.
increase of
call the state,
$1.63
find out
the next 2 years?
where we're at, because they're gonna ask you what your duties are, and they're gonna give you a number. They're gonna ask all your employees to give you a number. So if Trent is 600 and you're 650 and she's 610, well, you gotta be within 90% of what Trent's making.
So then I'm gonna have Andrew draft that up, saying then the 2018 amount to be determined in August. And we'll go ahead and
No.
sign that? What are we doing with that?
No, there is no raise beyond the $24 right now.
No, not until 2018.
Yeah,
But that was one of the paragraphs in the contract.
I know, but we scratched that out.
We said amount to be determined.
Well, that's right, that's what I'm talking about.
So then I'm gonna put amount to be determined and then we'll
Well, it could be nothing,
go ahead
but
and
it could
sign
be,
that.
yeah, it could be $2, I don't know. But we don't know that. Comparable Works is gonna tell us that. And we're not gonna guarantee you anything on January 1, 2018. But the numbers in the state is gonna tell us what that's gonna be.
Okay, then I'm gonna have him print that out, excluding that, saying to be determined, and have that signed.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, whenever,
When we get the comparable word forms, I want to be sure that the council goes through it as well to be sure that the duties are covered as they should be, because they have a lot of different things in them that can influence the point system.
well, it's,
Well,
I
you
to be
can't
fair,
demote
we should all
somebody,
look at
so
mean, it's in your job
You can't
description.
decrease somebody's
and
wages.
You're giving people to do.
it's against the law.
I mean, the council gave them the job description,
Right.
so basically they get points from that.
So for now, you want
But
to
the-
scratch that section with raises for the next 2 years? Because in
that's-
here it says $1.63 January 1st of 2018 and
No,
2019.
2019 was to be consistent with whatever the
Yeah.
union usual one is that
Yeah.
everybody gets.
That's not what it says here.
It does, and the council already passed that.
Okay. So what are we debating here tonight? What needs?
Well, I think the debate was we
This
were
is-
maybe looking at giving Diana some money, but I think we should be looking at budgeting for the first of the year if we're gonna consider that, because yeah, we don't have the money right now.
Well, hers wasn't gonna be till 2018 either.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Comparable worth might not be up in the 218, it might be up in 219, I don't know. But it's like every 3 years. And if it does come up, there's gonna be some numbers changed. And I'm just telling the council, we should be ready for that. Because we had to pay back pay on previous employees.
So I just want to be clear, Andrew's gonna draft that up with to be determined for the 2018 amount.
With no guarantees.
Well, to be determined means to be determined.
Yeah.
And then then it's ready for signature.
Yeah. I mean, the state is gonna tell us if we're out of compliance. And that's, they're gonna,
So you made a motion at your last meeting to hold on the whole raise business, that portion of this you were gonna determine at this meeting, is that correct?
no, we gave a part of that, we gave her
They approved
$2 and
they approved it all
37 cents.
except for the 2018.
anything
But
beyond
the
that.
raises, this portion with the raises
No,
is what you wanted to take out for now to be determined.
right.
I'd like to see that because I don't want any hangups here when I pay somebody to do this again. What
You need
part
this?
are we, I was just wondering what part you're looking at too.
Section 4, under compensation,
I don't even have that there. Can I come up there and just look?
Yeah, we're not,
when it comes down to
No,
the point.
no. This is right now. This is what I got right now, so that is not it.
But with the
With
raise,
this right here, this one right
That's
here
what I
was
got.
to be determined.
Right.
And then this was just in accordance to whatever the
Whatever,
regulations
yeah,
want.
Right.
yeah. So, I mean, I don't think you have to put anything in writing.
That contract, yes, that was,
No, we gave you the raise. The rest of it is basically, it's gonna be up to the state. It's
no,
not even-
not the rest, not with the raises. That contract has much more to do with the raises.
Yeah. But I'm telling you that the state is gonna tell you how much we should be paying you.
Yeah, that's fine. So we'll put the 2018 raise amount is to be determined, but the council passed the rest of the contract.
Yeah,
Yes.
basically. Because the other part is just goes with the rest of the employees.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you need that in writing, it's
Yes,
on tape right now.
both of the attorneys suggested we have a signed written agreement.
Well, it's fine.
Hence why we did it.
Well, change it the way we're talking about it, then we don't have a problem with that.
okay? Move on to Martin Hughes School. Has there been any movement up there at all?
Well, I just talked to the people from Missouri and they said that they're just starting to get numbers back and the amount that they're thinking, they don't know if they are going to be able to swing it. They won't know a final number, but so I contacted IRRB today and asked them what kind of resources do we have to help them out. I just haven't heard back from that yet today, and Chris is in Florida, so.
So we don't know if they'll have the money to even do something with this.
I think it'll depend on what kind of support they can get from IRRB or other outside resources.
Okay.
They're thinking that the renovations that they need are gonna come in between 10 and 14 million dollars.
I know you made a comment that if it costs over 6 million, they probably end up buying the building. And the boilers, they'll be broke down like in August. The people from Duluth will come up and do the boilers.
Good.
So, and
All
yeah,
right. And on to disc golf. Tim, did you look over the agreement?
As I talked to Mike and as we last talked, I was okay with it. I don't know what's happened since.
Okay. Has there been any changes to it? There haven't, has there, Mike?
Not to my knowledge, Mayor.
So the first one we did?
No, to this second one drafted today that Mike gave us.
I mean, what if these numbers come over to 38,000? Do you expect Buhl to put in money for this? No.
I expect to be able to get it done.
Oh,
Yeah, it'll get done. Is this a copy of the one that Mike gave us today? Mm-hmm.
and then basically, I mean, with you saying that, yeah, I mean, between you and the office, you're gonna have to keep track of these numbers.
Okay, right.
Which numbers?
Well-
The grant monies,
Oh, yeah.
to make sure that we're in line with the
Yeah.
grant. Yeah,
Because,
okay. Well, we
That's a-
sure
that's a budget
appreciate all
already in
that
place.
we appreciate all that you guys have been doing out there. It's gonna be a real addition to this town, be wonderful.
And I think there's plenty of room for whoever wants to solicit donations for the course. I think we just all have to be on the same page there.
Right.
And that's where we come in. We've done this quite a bit in the past, and we expected to be able to do it this time. We really count on soliciting sponsorships to be part of building the course, actually. It really helps with the funding.
When I talked to the auditor, she said as long as any soliciting you do for those would be done in the name, with the city, for the city.
You bet. Yeah, oh, and the money's going to you
Yeah.
anyway. I mean, it's,
so you basically, when you build this, you don't have control of the whole land. I mean, if we wanted to
No.
do something else to it, we can do something else to it.
It's not theirs.
They're usually
just put it in the course.
multi-purpose, if you look around, if I may interject. I walked Virginia Park and things are going on in the park and the Frisbee golf courses throughout the
Because
park.
I've always thought of putting a snow sliding hill off the dump and then you slide on the baseball fields which would be north of your number 6.
I don't think I think that
You have
can
nothing
accommodate
there.
practically any recreation idea you have. I don't think this
Yeah.
is gonna get in the way, it complements, any other recreation ideas would complement what you already have out there.
Because I see
Yeah.
the new stadium, they have a grant and they're giving out money for projects like what I just said.
We really looked at, Counselor, we really looked at a possibility of a phase 2. And based on what happens in the success of this area, maybe you want more venues for camping, maybe you want something like you just suggested. But I think IRR is gonna look at this favorably and they're gonna look at another opportunity. So there is a phase 2 written right into the grant possibility. We would come back and look at other amenities for the city based on how this is used, so.
Because you ride by Hibbing and they have that one little hill by the old L&M there and there's kids sliding constantly. You go to like Cloquet and this hill's probably be a little bit bigger and
That
being
idea's
safe
come up
wide,
before too.
it just comes right onto the baseball field, so it's, I think it'd be huge.
Yeah, I don't think there's any recreation opportunities that are, disc golf will not be in the way of anything out there. Normally disc golf goes where there's a heck of a lot of other park activities and it's pretty
Well,
quiet.
unless we're talking a summer and winter.
Right, exactly.
Proposition here, yeah.
Yep. That's got a lot of opportunities in winter cross-country ski and things like that. It'd be beautiful out there.
But that
Yes.
new Super Bowl fund or whatever the hell they got, it was in the paper yesterday,
Well, giving away money.
giving away money and then, you know, there was projects like
Yeah,
the slide hill.
recreation.
So,
Has everybody had a chance to read over the agreement?
well, I was just concerned about spending beyond the money here because, you know, I'm not willing to spend taxpayers' money on this project.
No, it's not gonna go over.
The auditor is coming for that special meeting to discuss the dollars and the grant monies and the sponsorship money.
Yeah, Bonnie has some questions on, you know,
I talked with Bonnie about all of this for quite a while. And it seemed like she was okay with the way this was.
Counselor Larson was in my office when Bonnie came for an audit report, and she discussed kind of in depth with us just some concerns she had and things she thought should be addressed.
She
Wouldn't
said
be
you
bad
gotta
to
have a
hear,
big,
right.
you have to have a
Yeah,
good
so-
paper trail.
So she set the meeting, she's actually set that meeting date.
I would like to see us accept an agreement and move forward on this.
Some of this-
And if after we talk to the auditor, she thinks we need to make any addendums to it, we do it at that time. But at least we can move forward here. I hate all this stalling on this project. We're so fortunate to have these volunteers to do the work.
I don't know if after we spoke to Bonnie, I don't think some of this is possible with the sponsorship.
Specifically what?
One, the cash, taking cash. She told us something about all the cash has to come through the city.
And it would,
It would.
Would. It'd be
would.
donated to the city of Buhl,
yes.
Yeah.
but earmarked for the disc golf course.
You bet.
And nothing else, yeah.
This is,
Right.
They're not giving it to the volunteers like, here, Tim, there's $500, do with it what you want. My understanding is coming through the city.
Right.
They're doing-
I have a question. So when you do the sponsorships, will you do like a one-time amount? Would this be a yearly thing? What
it would be a one-time
be?
month, we were thinking about it now, until we get past square one, this agreement, we haven't delved into this a whole heck of a lot. There'd be a one-time payment, we haven't determined the benefit to the benefit level versus what you get, you know. So we haven't determined that, we will, it'll be what the rate is and it'll work. If anybody else wants to get sponsorships, they just have to be on the same benefit level.
So when you get all that paperwork together, copy will be sent to
And we
City
have a
Hall
lot
so we
of
can all.
other kind of sponsorship brochures and stuff that we bring out, but the money's all going back to Buhl.
Exactly.
To be earmarked for specifically things that may not be included in the grant. I didn't see garbage cans in the grant application, I didn't see locks for the baskets, a payment drop box was suggested, so I believe this money will help, amenities in the course, and that's all it's for.
But so
We will use it to get better deals for the goods and services, and that's why we require some of these sponsorships, certainly not all 18.
I guess my only thought on the sponsors was how every year, just say like a basket needs to be replaced or something one year. Will that come out of like the city's budget then? My thought was if there was yearly sponsorships, like every year you renew, then we would have some revenue coming in.
I don't think you're gonna have all 18 sold before the thing is built, so you will be able to move on with more sponsorship opportunities after it's built to do things like to have a fund for
Yeah,
that type
for
of
like upkeep
garbage
and-
cans or a basket that gets broke. We've never had that happen in Hibby. We bought one extra, and that's normally how you would buy a
Okay.
practice basket, and that one would go in. So, you know, we've foreseen these things, and I think there'll be possibilities for sponsorships after the course is built to put your name on a sign, for instance.
Okay.
I don't think all 18 of them will be used that quick, but we certainly need access to some sponsorships just in the building of the course for goods and services.
Okay,
And then we'll bring forward a flyer, kind of a benefits and levels flyer, and then if everybody's on the same page, I don't think it really matters, you know, who gets the donations, but we really need access to a good handful of them
okay.
Sure.
to do the course.
Well, we're just concerned of writing checks that money that we don't have.
I think you've
We don't
got,
want
Got the
it.
grant.
I think you've got 38,000.
No, I know, I
Yeah,
know.
right.
But I guess that, I don't want any surprises.
I don't either, but every time I come here,
I
I sure
know.
get some
Yeah.
life.
That's where I'm at.
Can I have a motion
I'll
to
make a
accept the
motion to
agreement?
approve this grant agreement.
Support.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thanks for coming, Tim.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike, thank you.
Good talk.
Good evening, sir. Good time.
Okay. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Is that?
Support? No, we don't have an opening on there.
Oh.
Support?
Motion to adjourn, support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
John, what is this called?